All right, let's do this. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. It's time for another amazing lightning talk. I'm Parag Katkar, your host for tonight. I'm the head of consulting practices at InRhythm, and we have a lot of exciting content lined up for you. Our lightning talks are hosted every Thursday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And every week, one of our practice area consultants, they speak on the latest technology trends in the industry that will help you keep learning and growing. And this week, Ted Parton, who is an engineering lead at InRhythm, is going to give us an overview on how to best implement the gamifying of AWS Practitioner Prep and how to motivate your team to do that. So I'm excited for this talk. Without further ado, let's get it started, Ted.
Hey, thanks, Parag. Yes, so last fall, we actually, I was planning to get some practice for the AWS Practitioner certification and had this idea of putting together a series of quizzes. So we'll get started here. So back then, my hypothesis was that, or that people can better understand something by trying to teach it. And specifically, as I said, I was trying to learn to go and prep for that certification test myself. And so I thought, hey, if I challenge myself with putting together a 5 or 6 week course to share with my colleagues, that would actually force me to learn about AWS a little bit more and to put together these questions and think about how to come up with the questions and come up with the answers. And that would help me improve my own understanding. What is gamifying? So just really quickly, according to Webster's, it is the process of adding games or a game-like elements to something such as a task to encourage participation. And so what I thought is I had done this thing called Kahoot with a number of colleagues in the past where we would do just these fun trivia games that other people had put together. And so I got looking at it and I found that it was pretty easy to create my own set of Kahoots. And again, Kahoots are just kind of quizzes or trivia type piece that you can play online. And so I started creating a series of these myself. Move on here to how we gamify the test. And I've already talked about this a little bit, but basically I created a course of 6 Kahoots. Of that, one of the very first one that we used in the course we did was one that someone else had already put together, a person named Arturo. Unfortunately, I don't have their last name to give them full credit. But then afterwards, I went through and created 5 additional quizzes on various topics. And I did a lot of research from a Udemy course called AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Exam, and it's by Neil Davis, and I highly recommend it. And Neil has a whole lot of online courses just geared at helping everybody getting AWS certified. So you should definitely check him out. Definitely a strong resource. So here's a quick screenshot of the courses that I put together for the team. They're not in a particular order, but the way we did them was the one that says this, like the next to the bottom, the AWS Cloud Practitioner General Review Quiz 2 is the one we did our second week. And then after that, we kind of shifted around. So we had, as you can probably see here, one on databases, which covered both traditional SQL as well as NoSQL. We had another one on networking, and then put together one on doing application services and architecting for the cloud, as well as deployment and automation and governance. So in reality, what I found is I probably could have put together 1 or 2 more of these, but we really just didn't have time last year to get that in by our goal. So I did not put those in, but I may go add them in later. And so I think a lot of people had a good time with this. We probably had on average something like 5 or 6 people on average. And I know that seems like a low number, but we have about 20 people in our Java practice. And actually we drew in some people from outside our practice, which was really great. And so I know I enjoyed going through there and doing this with everybody, and everyone I talked to seemed to really have a good time as well. So now this new screen is just a set of sample questions that I wanted to show you guys. from the quiz 2. There are things like, what does SNS stand for? What is a S3? Or Amazon S3 is an example of what sort of storage. I'm not sure if you can see or not, but it says on the side like a number of seconds. That's how many seconds people have to answer the question. So most of these are about 20 seconds, unless it's like a true false, and then maybe we gave them 10 in some cases, or we kind of played with it as we went. And so this first one that we put together may have been a little too fast on some of these, and later we adjusted that. And I should say, every week I got feedback from people who were going through this with me. So here I want to show you probably over the next few slides a few sample questions in more detail. For instance, here's what are IAM groups used for, and you can see kind of what type of questions, or sorry, not questions, but answers people can choose from. And I tried to be kind of funny with these and put in some pictures and help people out. But you can see here, like organizing users was an option, organizing clone troopers, going back to our image here. So I think that was, something kind of fun. And then you can see our actual right answer is organizing users and applying policies. So on this next one here, the AWS data pipeline, I'm really sad that the screenshot didn't have the original graphic that was in the center. So it was Mario Brothers, but it's a rotating GIF, and it turned to this guy. But as you can see here, the correct answer for data pipeline is processes and moves data between different AWS compute and storage services. So again, just another example. And I think we have one more example I'll show you here. And so this one was on selecting the performance efficiency for best practices. In this case, we did a select multiple. So as you may see here, there were actually 4 answers that people could choose from, and 2 wrong answers. As we progress with this, I try to make it a little more interesting for people, instead of just having it just being, just 4 to choose from, which is kind of the default. And we'd mix it up, sometimes true or false, sometimes it was all the above, sometimes it was none of the above. So really could just have a lot of fun with it. And again, one of the things I like about Kahoot is you can add in your own images and some of your own backgrounds. And I think you'll see here in a minute, well, maybe the next slide, I'll show you some of the podiums for difficult questions, right? So we had a true or false question here on the Amazon QLDB, and nobody got that one correct, is what we see here. And then we can see that overall people had a kind of an average of 63% correct for this quiz. And we can also see how many minutes we took to take the quiz. Now we'll throw out 38 minutes is actually a long time to take 20 questions. These really, you would flow through them really much quicker. But another thing that we did that I think everybody got a lot out of is we would self-pace these. So instead of having it on auto mode, I would start it up, and I was running the host as well as playing. And so we would answer a question, and then we would stop and talk about that question after everybody had answered it, so we could discern if say everybody got it wrong, or half of us got it wrong, then we'd talk about why the right answer was the right answer, and really just help everybody increase their learning. So, and then here are the podiums I had mentioned a moment ago. And as you can see, the first couple here were this kind of a spooky tree is from Halloween. I don't know if I should be happy that I ended up being in first place on a number of these or not, but I really would make these probably 4 or 5 days before we actually took these quizzes. And also when I set them up to play, I put them in random order. So I tried to confuse myself as well. But we had a good number of good sessions. Lots of people played, as you can see here. So like there was Jim and Tarek and Garrick and Sid and all kinds of folks, Kyle. And so just a really good turnout. And the other thing that was great about it is as we progressed through these, we actually got more and more turnout. So on the first one, we may have had like 4 people. And then it would just get better and better as it was going. So I would like to think people were talking about it and saying like, hey, this looks like fun. So I know I certainly had a big time putting them together. So, and I know this is a quick lightning talk, everybody. This is I think my last slide here, but this is the public page of the course. If anybody wants to go and take it, we'll make this URL available to people if they want. Now to start the course on your own, you do have to create your own Kahoot account, but those are free. Once you're in there, this course is free to take. Like I said, there are 6 different Kahoot quizzes in there, and most of them average between 20 and 25 questions. They don't take very long to play, and I think it's just a fun group activity to do. And so now I'm going to open this up to any questions you guys might have, and beyond that, I'd be happy to kick one of these quizzes off and invite people to play if they like to play it, and I'll put that in the auto mode so it'll auto advance on its own. But does anyone have any questions?
Hey Ted, my name is Michael. I work on the internal recruitment team here at InRhythm. I was curious to see another example that you might be proud of in your experience of when a client asks to gamify an application or gamify some sort of web page rather than creating an assessment. When it's being done within the infrastructure of an application being delivered. Is there any examples of that you think stand out in your career?
So I don't know that I've had the been fortunate enough to do that. However, there's a product I've used in the past that had this as kind of like an Easter egg in their application, and I thought it was just fantastic. So there's a company called Redgate, and they make a lot of SQL tools, and they're really good, and they have an editor that's kind of a competitor to one that Microsoft makes available with their SQL Server. But their tool has a lot of advanced features in it, which is one of the good reasons to use it. But so one of the unknown things is when you go to I believe it's the about or the help, I think it's the about, and it shows your license and everything is showing there, and you wait about 10 seconds, and then a game pops up. And it was just like the best thing in the world whenever I found that out. I thought, what, just a great Easter egg to place in there. But I certainly would love to help a client do some gamification with, something they're doing sometime, because I can think of some places where it would be really good. So let's say like we have a lot of financial customers, right? So I can think of a number of ways we might help put together some fun learning activities that are a little bit gamified, if you will, especially if they look at how do we help, say, children learn about investing or teenagers, and just kind of make that more fun in that aspect.
Yeah, I think that's definitely an avenue worth pursuing.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate the details there.
Yeah. And I'm going to I want to start this up, and I'll share the link out on the chat here in just a second for anybody who would like to go play. So I'm generating a game pen right now. I tell you what, let me share my screen out here. Give me just a second to switch screens. And all right, can you guys see a screen that says waiting for players?
Yeah, sure can.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to, so what you want to do is go to kahoot.it, and here I'll put that in the chat. Let me, if I can find the chat. And once you're there, the link I'll put in here will actually put the pen in for you. But if you just go to kahoot.it on a screen, and then you put in that code, it will let you into the game. And then you can see some people showing up. So from there, you can put in your name, whatever you want to call yourself, and the game. Oh, it says it's going to start here in just 5 seconds. We can restart that if we need to. Oh, more people, yay. this is set up to play auto mode, so it will advance through everything on its own. And also the other thing is I have put the questions in random order. So hope you guys enjoy it. Let's see how everybody did. All right, less confusing. Way to go. Nice. Whoever sets up their own Kahoot, there are two ways to set it up. One way, the questions are on, or the answers on a totally, or questions on a totally separate screen from your answers. But I try to get those together on the same page for these. So you can just do a single page. So anyways, thank you all for showing up today. If you enjoy playing the game, and feel free to send me any feedback that you might have. Thank you so much.